What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Just Record podcast. This episode is with Edwin. If you don't know who he is, he's a true G, and you should just listen to what he says because he's going to drop a whole bunch of gems in this podcast. And also, this is a new podcast, and I need all of your support. So if you could please like and subscribe, that'll help me out tremendously. I need all the help I can get. Let's get into it. Yo, what's up, my G?
Hey, what's up?
Bro, this was like the hardest not conversation ever. Like, I just wanted to catch up with you and be like, yo, what the fuck's going on in your life? You know what I mean? But cause I know you just been grinding in the cave, just building with Claude and stuff. So now we can finally talk, dog.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy. I just feel like we had so many good things we could have talked about. That we're trying to save for the podcast, for the actual conversation. It just could not stop coming out. So,
and bro, like, what have you been up to? Like, I know you just took a few days off, went to Cedarburg, like, did your whole thing there.
Yeah.
Like, how does, like, start me up? What was that like?
In the Cedarburgs, you mean?
Yeah. And why did you go?
Well, I've just been deep in the Claude psychosis.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I go to sleep and I'm like thinking about the terminal. You know? I see the terminal, I see my little terminal pet in there with me. No, I've just, as soon as I dove into Claude Code like maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And, I've got a bit of a little bit of a development background, but my partner's got way more of a technical background.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I discovered Claude Code, I could like take all of that, instead of asking my developers and different things like that, or asking my partner, I could just go and figure out these solutions on my own.
Yeah.
And when you're not reliant on somebody else external to go and get information and you can confirm it on your own, there's so many things you can do. And so literally the 16 hours a day I'm just on Claude Code. I probably should be going to the gym a lot more, but it's exciting, just building everything. And
but like, what's the thing, right? Because like people ask me, like, they feel like they have to spend this subscription of $100 or $200 or whatever they're paying to use Claude, right? And they're like, what are you actually building? And I know a lot of people can go ahead and they can talk to Claude all day and try to like get it to answer questions for them. But like, how has it impacted your business or impacted anything you've done, you know? Like, because I found myself a little bit getting stuck in trying to create things, and I start creating things, but then I'm like, okay, how's it actually generating me revenue? And I know there's a lot of people that feel that way. I mean, I figured out ways for it to generate me revenue, but like, what's been your experience? Because you got like so much power. You got like this freaking god now, or this Thanos arm, right? Like, well, like you can create anything.
Yeah.
What do you actually create now?
Well, right now, I decided my play was get into very specific niches and just go and solve these problems for them. So right now, in about, I'd say 3 weeks, I developed a fully operational SaaS for construction businesses, like general contractors. And I use Claude Code to go and find me the leads, to cold email to get to them, enrich and actually generate custom copy for every single one of these leads. And that took like 30 minutes to an hour to go and enrich everything. And it's like 7,000 people. And I'm just cold emailing them, getting them on a call. Like all of this is done with Claude Code. And then I just have them help me verify whether this is like a legitimate SaaS or not. So I can use Claude Code to go and set up a demo really, really quickly for them just to show them on screen share. I haven't even built out any of the back end, let's say. And they just see the front end. And then I can be like, oh, this is a good business or it's not a good business. So I can validate it really quickly.
And what were you doing before? Like before you, let's just say like these specific use cases, was it like specific use cases you were doing for clients before?
Yeah, I was doing custom projects for clients before, doing like custom dev work. People come to us, like, I've got an idea for like AI AI dating for dog babysitters or something, some crazy app idea, right? But sometimes I get really legitimate use cases, like, medical clinics coming to us and they're like, we need something to help us, educate the patients better, different things like that. So the cool thing about that is you see a lot of different businesses, but the downside is building custom is really, really painful. And so I'd rather pick a couple things I'm really good at and like master it. And so that's kind of where I'm moving into. And then the other thing I've been doing a lot with Claude Code is just like figuring out how can it make me like a better person? How can it make me more awake, sharper? When I went to your event, and you showed us like your life OS, it jumped in like the /wolf skill and like the focus and all that. It just set off a light bulb in me. And I was like, how can I use this to help me think clearer?
Yeah.
You know, like build it out as a second brain so you can just dump everything into it. That was a huge thing I took away, is just dump your whole life into it.
Yeah.
Whatever, insecurities, business, things you're focusing on. So then it can go and store that for you.
Yeah.
And then, so I've been trying to build it out so then I can go and dump all this and it can challenge me and it can pick up patterns where I'm missing things or places where I'm like shallow in my thinking or where it's like a bit hollow and I'm just repeating what somebody else has said.
Yeah.
I want to build something that can cut through that, you know, using Socratic questioning, you know, why do you think that? What, like, where's that coming from? Until you get to something solid.
And you know, and people always ask me this in my community too, and I'm curious on like how you will respond to this. People always ask me like, what do you really need when you have Claude Code, right? Like they're like, oh my gosh, like how do I do this? How do I do that? And I'm always like, ask Claude, ask Claude, ask Claude. And Claude will tell you like what to do next.
Yeah.
But like they always say like, if there's something you've noticed using Claude Code extensively, like is there a skill you need to be able to use it at its full capacity, or do you feel like you just spend time in it? Like what's been your flow?
The way I learned it, I just jump right in and start trying to build, because that's like, and then adding things on, because if you're going to jump into all the skills and the MCPs and all of that, you're just going to get way overwhelmed. I figured out like a basic gist of, you know, how I should run things.
Yeah.
You know, for example, if I'm building something, I should build feature by feature. Different, like I just watched a couple basic videos and then just started building and figured out where areas I'm getting stuck are. And then I go and look at the skills that I need to actually do. So I think the biggest skill is just really not overthinking it and just taking action and just start building things and tinkering. And also noticing where areas in your life where you're annoyed by things, writing it down, and then building it like an automation or solution for that. Like,
and how do you like track all these things too? Like for example, for me, I got my wolf skill, and then I basically try to have it keep me on track, because I know I can be like, oh, I can build this too, and I'll jump over there and I'll start building something, and it's like almost finished, but then I'm like, oh, let me just start building this thing, and I have like 12 projects that I'm trying to build, and I'm like, okay, let me just like focus on this one thing. And then when you wake up in the morning, you always have to like remember what you were building the day before, you know? So it's like, I know you can get like carried away and getting so deep into building a whole bunch of cool shit, but it's like staying on task to know like the mission, right? Like you said, like, oh, I've got the construction projects. Like, how do you just go from the next one, the next part, the next part, the next part? Is it like a process that you're having between that?
Yeah, I definitely went through that. At a certain point, I felt my brain was so overloaded and I couldn't figure out what I was doing, like what to do. And I was like, am I just spinning my wheels? So I went and, so like some of the skills that you shared with me, for the Life OS, I kind of reconfigured some of that stuff, and just to help me really focus on like, because when you're so overwhelmed, it's so hard to make decisions on what's the right thing. Maybe you're tired, your willpower is low. So it's like, I give it all the context, so then it can go in and decipher what's noise versus signal for me, you know, and that's something I got from you. And so, you know, let's say I'm working on 5 projects, but, you know, it's going to help me pick out what the most important project is. And then just focusing on that. And then it kicks my ass too. It's like, hey, this is your pattern. Like you keep jumping to the next thing. Get back into the first thing and figure that out first, you know? And I'm like, okay, cool.
Bro, that's been like so helpful for me, dude. Like, and I've learned so many things. Cause I almost started asking Claude, I'm like, yo, do you think I'm like ADHD or something? Or like, do you think I'm like kind of retarded? Like, what's wrong with me, right? So like, I kept asking Claude, and it's like, nah, bro, you're just like a doer, you're a go-getter, you're trying to like achieve, you're a high achiever, and you just need more structure. And I also did it I had to do my human design, my numerology, like my astrology, my freaking gene keys and all these things. And I told it to like build a model based off of all the things I'm weak at in my life, like my organization or my financial management, and like build this like perfect God mode thing to like assist me in everything. And every time I try to like veer in the world of like something I'm bad at. It's like, dude, you're bad at that. I got this. And like, just stay in your lane of being creative and stuff. And I think that's been like super helpful for me too, to just be able to like keep creating and staying in the lane of creation.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. And it's like been veering me off into like, hey, bro, you need to master this finance stuff. Oh, let's build this trading bot for you.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to get into like AI trading, which is insane too, bro. I don't know if you
crazy.
Like,
no, I don't know anything about trading,
bro, but it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't really need to know anything about trading. You can just have it like study really good traders and then have it like create almost like fake money. So it's like trading with fake money. And then it's like, oh, we've been 90% correct trading with this fake money. You want to inject some real money in here and trade it too?
Yeah.
So it's like insane, bro, that people are starting to do that too, bro. Isn't it?
Insane.
Yeah. So many ways to create revenue.
And like, you wouldn't think, you know, like for me, maybe I have a limiting belief. I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about trading.
Yeah.
Let me just not, I'll try it. But the thing that I get reminded over and over with Claude and just AI in general is like, actually, you're just dreaming too small. And like, you should, if you have a crazy idea, you should just figure out if it can actually do it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of the creativity comes in. It's just like,
yeah,
I have the end outcome. I'll let Claude figure out how I can get there, but let's just see if that's possible to do rather than trying to do things so traditionally. And
yeah. And you were just like, were you in China a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
And how was it? Like, I guess like Claude came out where like really started booming like a couple months ago. Cause I wonder like what it's like over there, dude.
Okay. China's really advanced in a lot of ways. It's very interesting, like the propaganda you see on the like in the West about China, and then going to China, and so definitely some propaganda is real, but some of it's like really not real. I didn't see so much AI stuff.
Yeah,
what I saw was like they have like a drone taxi they had on display at the mall. Like that was insane. I'm sure that's gonna be flown by AI soon.
Yeah.
So like all the cars. Like the air is super clean there. Like I would say it's even cleaner than Cape Town because all the cars are electric, like really cool cars. Like I think China's going to take over the car game. But yeah, I didn't see too much AI. I did see like a news article where they're just teaching Open Claude to people for like thousands of people. Like I think government sponsored or something.
Did you get into that like Open Claude?
No, I haven't got it.
So I know that like Claude Code came in and was like, oh yeah, we're about to kill that shit, right?
Yeah.
And then like everybody that had like all these Mac Minis, they had like 12 of them, and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do now, you know?
I just don't. I don't want to spread myself too thin. Like Claude has already gotten all like just taken over my life. So I can't.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, seriously, dude. And like, where do you see yourself going next in this space? Like, and why? I think it's a really good question of like, why go deep into Claude Code? Because like, what do you think it's going to do for your life? You know, like knowing you, like what I know about you and why I wanted to even be on this with you is because like, bro, you're always doing something fun. You're like literally like living, you're like life maxing, right? The purpose, like always doing something fun, always with friends, organizing events, like always in a great mood, happy. Your mindset, meditation, like everything's like so aligned from an outside perspective looking in. I know how it can be like inside internally, but like, what's the whole like? How do you? Why is it important, even though you know the importance of like meditation and inner peace and also like connecting to yourself?
Yeah. I think a lot of that is like yeah, okay. Yeah, I think a lot of that is like my kill switch in case everything goes south with AI. I can go out in nature, I can sit down on a rock and just like meditate and I can feel good. And that's something I've been really thinking about, just how I can do both, you know, like have AI kind of like help me get more in touch spiritually, help me get more clearer minded. So yeah, I guess I don't understand.
I mean, I think the biggest thing too is like, bro, you got like two people that I usually meet, right? You got like these super spiritual people. They're like, bro, they're like no chips, never AI. They're like super, I'm going to go high under a rock, right? And they won't adapt to using AI. Then you got people that are like super AI who maybe aren't spiritual at all and like super techie and super science based, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But there's very few people you find are like floating between the two worlds, bro. And I think that there's like a mindset behind it, like to be able to believe in technology, but also believe in like being within too.
Yeah.
I just really want to know your mindset behind like your approach to that.
I just want it all, man. I just want it all. I just know that there are benefits that I can get from meditation and spirituality that I'm not going to get from AI. And there's also a lot of benefits that, because look, no matter how much benefits I can get from AI that I won't get from spirituality. No matter how much I meditate, no matter, how tapped in I am, how much I listen to my soul.
Yeah,
it's not gonna give me, a 20-hour work week where I can spend the rest of the time adventuring, spending time with my kids. And that's what I want. I don't have any kids right now, but if I want kids, I only want to have kids when I can go and, like, let's say I work 3-4 months a year, and then the rest of the time I can just go travel with them, and I can go share this spiritual lessons with them,
And how do you see that though? Like, just using AI now, like, can you see how it can automate parts of your business to where you actually can?
Yeah, well, it can build me any machine. Like, it can build me machines to go and, like, automate other people's businesses, and then they pay me to do it. So spirituality is not going to help me with that.
Yeah.
But also, if I can't just sit on a rock and be happy and feel good, I build all of that, and it is not going to mean much. If I'm spending time with my kids and I got my life automated, but my mind's not there, and I can't be present with them and tuned in, and I don't feel good, and I feel like I got to chase the next thing, that's also a waste. So it's just, I think, I just recognize that there's different games to be played, and I want to play both games. Yeah. And then also, I think, like I was saying, if everything goes south, I also want to be a guy that can just go live on a farm, get a donkey, donkey maxing. and then I'm like, hey, cool. I'd be equally happy doing that.
Yeah.
But while the AI game's good, like, let me try and play that game. Yeah.
And like, what's been your thing too, like, lately? Because I know you've been straight Claude coding, like 16 hours. Have you had time to just play with a bow and arrow, or like been able to just, like, well, you just got off the adventure to Cedarburg, so I guess that's pretty dope too.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting to be able to find that balance, because I've been struggling with that too, just being behind my laptop and just like grinding out. And I got a kid too, so I'm like with my kid and doing so many things, right? Like being able to really prioritize yourself.
Yeah, that was a huge. I'm like, it made me a bit scared because I was so deep into it, and I'm like, the velocity is only going to pick up.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I have to work like this for the rest of my life? Like, if, just to try and keep up.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not something I'm willing to do, but let me do it short term. But yeah, I totally feel what you're saying. Like, it's just, it eats up all of your time. And so, yeah, I'm using like the Life OS I built just to be like, kick me in the ass, be like, okay, like, you're tilting, you're getting builder tunnel vision, go to the gym, go out, spend some time in nature.
Yeah.
Bro, and so like keeping that balance is tough.
Bro, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Like, I find myself getting stuck. Like, I guess it's interesting because I was creating my next offer, right? Like, packaging up my, like, AI OS, which I call, like, the install. Like, people install this into their business. And at first, I started to market it, or started to think of it as like, oh, this is going to give you all your time back and everything. Then again, I'm like, I don't really have all my time back. But then I really thought about it. I'm like, what is it doing for me? It's helping me do everything 400 times faster.
Yeah.
So it's not giving me my time back, but it's like, because I'm actually spending more time on Claude Code than anywhere else, but it's generating me more revenue, and it's having me do everything faster so I can do more things. And I see how there's certain people like the Alex or Mosey's in the world that posting like so much content, and there's people that are building like all these businesses and doing all these things, and I'm like, oh shit, because they're just Claude maxing, really. So I'm like, that's really what it's doing for me too, is helping me move in hyperspeed. And I think that's one of the biggest use cases that I found for it. It's like moving, bro.
How are you kind of managing figuring out what's worth working on and what's just a fun project, and then how do you manage like deciding like, okay, the fun project is worth it, and I'm not just only going to work on things that are going to make me money?
Bro. And I think because it's been a little rough, but also I think like you mentioned early, it's just like the use case. So, for example, my mom's in the real estate, and she was talking about like all these pain points she has, how she's paying this one company $600 for this thing I don't really want to mention because I'm gonna build it, or I'm building it, or I just built it. So, but a thing that just solves that, where she doesn't have to pay someone $600 anymore. Like the money just goes straight to her pocket because we just have Claude do the automation for us. So I'm like, that's a crazy use case. We built it in 30 minutes, and now it can run, and now she can sell it as a SaaS. Like, so simple. And I'm like, all right, so where I can see like an immediate result, and there's so many niches. I think I was talking to you about this, bro. Like somebody had like this German Shepherd company or something. I don't know. Was it you? Maybe not. It was like a friend that was telling me that they built like an AI system. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't you. They built this AI system to track all the German Shepherds being born to sell like as police dogs. Whoa. So, cause they're like really expensive to like breed these German Shepherds by like making this database of like, these dogs for police and stuff. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. He's in like Cape Town, bro. Wow. He's in Cape Town. He's like doing it in a minute, slanging these dogs, making guap, bro. And he told me he ran $500,000, bro.
Crazy. That's a crazy Instagram bio. Like, $500,000 tracking German Shepherds.
You probably got your dog from me, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was good. I had a thought. You said you built this thing for your mom. I think we're in this age where like, it's like digital handyman. You know, maybe your dad would have like built a table for your mom, you know, back in the day. Now you're like a digital handyman. You can go and like build gifts for people. Think about that. Like somebody's birthday, bro. You know their life, and then you go and build them a gift, like an app specifically tailored to their life.
Wow.
How cool would that be?
That's huge. Yeah. Because it's funny because like I was trying to like think about these names online of like what it is, and I keep hearing the word like orchestrator or operator. Like you're being an operator in businesses and you're doing this or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but I keep hearing operator everywhere. Like, yes, this AI is operator, but it's really a handyman when you think about it. Yeah, like you're just there, like bro. It's like a drug dealer too. It's like really like you're handing them, and it's funny because I even said this to one of my friends the other day, bro. Because I was like so deep in Claude Code, and everyone's hitting me up like, yo, you want to hang out? You want to hang out? And I know that they're only trying to hang out because they want like their Claude.
Tips. Yeah,
you know, they want the tips and everything. So I was like, oh, like it's really that drug dealer now. Like, people that hit the crack, you know, because they know it can literally change their life and it can get them high in different areas. So I'm like, dude, we're just handing it out to people, bro.
Well, they look at you like you're magic, you know. You show them. Like I went to your conference, you know, the event, and like it's like magic to people showing and things that are super basic to us. They're like, okay, set up the skills and the things like that, and it's like it's magic, you know.
Bro,
so,
what's like a skill that you've been loving lately, or that you built that's been sick?
I really two just for front end design. One I've got is a design companion. So I've got Superpowers by Obra.
Okay.
Really cool set of skills. Yeah, it's like a whole pack of skills. Really cool. One of them I really like is the design companion. So it'll go through and design, like kind of come up with a design plan, and then it opens up locally 3 sets of, like it'll pre-design things for you locally, and you can select which one you want. So one of the things, because in Claude Code, it comes up with a design plan, you don't really know what it looks like.
Yeah.
But this one gives you a visual representation. So that one's really cool. The other one is design review, where it'll actually open your whatever you build.
Yeah.
And then take screenshots of it and navigate through and then iterate on that. Because a lot of times Claude is like, they're only using
regular HTML,
just like reading the code, but they don't have that visual. So now it does that visual and does that visual loop, and it's just a lot more powerful in terms of design. So I found that.
Bro, that's crazy. Yeah, I found one that's called Super Design, which is dope too. You saw that, bro.
No, I haven't played with it.
Bro, Super Design is like, it gives you like the best freaking looking websites ever. Okay. And you can go to Super Design and you just see it all, and then it just copies the prompt and then puts it inside and makes like the sickest websites. Cursors, like moving animation effects and everything. Just like one quick thing. One that I created called Slides Mode, which you just like chuck stuff into and just makes like beautiful slide decks. I found it from I think, bro, I don't know if I got it from you. No, it was on Twitter or something.
Okay.
And bro, Twitter's a great place to find skills too, bro. It's like people just build like the craziest skills out. Like video to to a presentation or whatever. So you just drop a video link in there and just build like craziest presentation out of the video. Like, I guess a lot of it's been like this visual work too, but in the research stuff that does like crazy research for you, bro. It's just, dude, it's endless when it comes to these skills.
Yeah.
I like the pack stuff too, because I think that's a really good play, especially if you're trying to like it's like new templates, right? Like people were slinging templates on Notion and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, you can just do this straight into skills now, you know?
Yeah. Just install. It's like being in the Matrix, where they're like, I know Kung Fu, you know? You literally just drop it into somebody's closet. They're like, damn, they know,
They know what they're doing now.
they know how to design stuff. Like, yeah, it's insane. What have you been building that's like more in the passion, like, or just like fun, cool things that you're...
I think the one that I shared at my event, like having my Whoop connect to like the data.
So sick.
Yeah. And then I've got like the Cal app where it just like tracks my calories and everything. It tells me like what I should be eating. So then it kind of tells me like how's my body doing, what I should be eating. Then it's like, bro, looking at your calendar, like, dude, you're like cooking yourself, bro. You need more time for your personal life. And then it kind of it gives me suggestions and things I can do around Cape Town that can be fun.
No way. It gives you suggestions as well.
Yeah, and it comes from like, and I created the skill. It's called Where We At. So like when I type in, like when I do / where we at, it'll tell me like what's going on in my day, what I should be focusing on. Because like I can have this scroll brain, like say I go do something, I come back and I forgot what I'm supposed to be doing. So it helps me like just stay on track. And it's funny because people always ask me like, oh, you know, I need all these skills. But it's like, bro, if you just tell it like how you want your life to be designed and just say, build me a skill around it, then Claude will build it for you. It's not like you need to, it's not magic, you know?
Yeah, it's like you just have to switch your mindset. It's like whenever people ask me like, oh, how do you do this? I'm like, ask Claude. Why are you asking me? Like, Claude's going to answer it way better.
Bro.
And then it's like, it goes back to that thing like, oh, you don't think that it can do it and you should just go and try. It's like that, like ask Claude and just believe in the vision and it could probably do it. Like I'm always surprised by like the things it can do. Yeah.
Do you like, how are you talking about it to your family at all? Like, has that been a conversation, or do they even know what you do, or like even like old friends, you know, like maybe back in Canada or something? Like, do they even?
I haven't been talking with my family or friends too much about it.
Yeah,
because I've been trying to figure out what the real value proposition. For that, like just what's signal versus noise, like what is actually useful. So I haven't really been talking too much about it actually right now. How about you? What,
bro? I mean, it's interesting. Like, sitting here, I got so many ideas. But yeah, I've been trying to get my family integrated in it. Like, my parents are like real estate and stuff. So I'm like, all right, how do we just build like skills around the real estate niche that they can go ahead and package up and sell, and also like install for people, and almost because you can be like, yo, this thing is running my entire business, and here's how. All you have to do is like download this or pay for this thing.
Yeah.
And then you actually give them value because all they have to do is hook it up and then it's actually running in their business.
Yeah.
And they don't have to learn Claude Code. So I think it's actually valuable too. But yeah, that's what I've been kind of doing. But friends has been hard to even communicate it because like you have to tell them Claude Code and they try to go to Claude Code and they're like, I can't find it. And you have to go like desktop version. And, okay, you need a pro account at least. Or, like, all these things. So it is like kind of I guess little thing.
It's like, oh, are you using Claude Code? And then like, yeah, I talk with Claude all the time. And I'm like,
all the time they say that.
No, Claude Code.
right.
Different.
Yeah, I'm in Claude Code. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm already thinking about it because I'm about to go to the burn in like a couple of weeks. So, you know, Africa burn, just like Burning Man. You've been, I've seen you out there on the burn a couple of years ago or something.
That was wild.
And I'm like thinking, like, bro, I won't be coding. What is he called? Coding.
Claude
like,
Code.
like a week, bro.
Yeah.
It's be crazy. So much happens in a week, dude.
It does. Yeah. Yeah. I took 4 days off and I'm like, oh shit, I'm behind. Are you going to bring any of these local models with you? Like Gemma 4? Because think about this, you're on the burn, you've got, you know, these local models, like you don't need internet access, like it's just, you know, it's like not as smart as Claude Code, but you can ask it things, it'll answer, it knows a lot, and so it's like, you know, something happens on the burn, you can go and still have LLM access, ask questions like, somebody got hurt, or, you know, like, okay, how do I deal with this situation, right?
That actually happened to me, bro. I was at the burn once, and this girl like was in a K-hole, and she's like, and I was like carrying her on like, and I got in this like bunny car, and the bunny car was like going somewhere, and I jumped in like this elephant truck, and he took me to like, he took me to like this freaking tent, or it's like the hospital tent.
Yeah.
Didn't even know it existed. So I mean, that's true, bro. Like, some real ones, dude.
I was thinking about like emergency LLM.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting, bro. It's a use case. There we go.
Yeah.
Emergency LLM, bro.
Yeah. And, how have you been using? Because I've been thinking also like, how can we use like Claude Code to like help people, right? And I know you got like Black Kids Travel and stuff.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, how do I teach people Claude Code? And I wish I had someone at Anthropic that can sponsor some of these schools and stuff to use it. So I got to figure out that plug. So if anybody knows, let me know. But to be able to get like, let's just say kids in Kenya, like we're about to do our next trip in August to Kenya, and we got this orphanage there, and we're like helping these kids to basically live, you know, like it's not really an orphanage, it's more of a school, you could say, to help these kids like grow. But we're like, all right, how do we teach these kids skills like artificial intelligence? Well, we need more computers. So that means I got to come out of my pocket to teach these kids with the computers and everything, which is okay. But then, okay, I've got the computers. Now I need to teach them Claude, but that's another monthly subscription for each kid. Okay. So like now it'd be cool to have something like that, because just imagine like a small village in Kenya, and they're speaking Kenyan or Swahili or whatever language to the Claude, but they're able to get like ask it questions and get answers, ask it questions, get answers, and now they know, and now they're like the information leader in the village, and they're able to like change so much just because they got access to like God mode, bro. Like, and I think that's huge, and they can do things for them that they couldn't have done, and all they have to do is get good at talking to it. So I would love to teach kids around the world how to use Claude by just having this relationship where we can ask it questions and answer questions, and a lot of stuff you can do for free. Like you can host on Vercel and stuff. Like have a working website up on the internet for free. Yeah, and I think it's huge. Like people just need to be able to get a hold of that type of technology. You know,
I think these local models could be really cool for that. You know, if you're able to host it on something like a bit stronger, like if they have access, you know, to the internet. But I think even like a really good starting point is these local models. Like, you just put it on a computer, but you need a pretty decent computer to actually run it. So,
100%.
But yeah, that could be insane. And then if everybody in the village is using this and they get really deep into it, I know in like small communities when everybody starts doing something, like you just build and build and build.
And you can have like Claude organize the community. Yeah. So you can tell it all the things that's wrong in your community, and then be like, can you organize this better and tell me what to do and who to put in charge? And that you can tell Claude like who's got this type of personality, and then it can be like, oh, you should put Uday in charge of this. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you can do anything, dude. So, yeah, and then build systems where it can be like less corruption and stuff. That's things that I've been working on. Building like crush-proof systems so people can't just like take the money and smuggle it this way. Like you can actually see almost like in crypto. I mean, you got the blockchain where it's like tracking what everyone's doing, but like a blockchain for the corruption to be able to track what they're doing using AI. So it's so many ways to go about it, dude.
Really crazy.
So many ways, bro.
That's like one of the most exciting parts for me is like, you know, I grew up and I always wanted to make like a big impact on the world, and I didn't really know how. But like, we can do that now. You just gotta be creative. Like you have the ability to go and just like find pieces, you know, find parts of the world and just make it big impacts.
Bro, and we were just talking about this with Josh, but you gotta get this back to me too, Josh, of like, the thing about the dog. So this guy like cured cancer in his dog, and his dog's able to see again or something like that, which is wild.
Yeah, so it's a pedophilia in Australia. He reached out to researchers with a suicidal concept, blah, 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 blah. He basically used Claude to map out his dog's DNA, and they used it to cure his dog's cancer.
Interesting.
Crazy.
So it had it map all the DNA, and it's like, oh, this shit's wrong. No, that's insane, bro.
That's insane. It makes like the traditional like system look like the McDonald's of like healing. Like you can get like a product, like a one size fits all.
Yeah.
Whereas like, you know, if you're mapping out your own dog's DNA, it's insane.
Bro, and that's the thing, like what you just said with the traditional science or traditional doctor stuff. Because someone asked me, they were like, "Yo, what space do you think is safe from AI? You know, like what space?" And I'm like, honestly, like I don't freaking know. Like, and they're like, "What about the doctors and stuff?" And I'm like, "Bro, that's a perfect example of like what it can do: map out DNA and fix things." And they're like, "Oh, do you need hands?" Yeah, now you do. Like at the moment, you know? So
but I do think humans just like a guy in a trench coat.
But a dude can like screw up.
Yeah.
He screws up a lot. It's like, let's just say if it's like, oh, this AI doctor over here that's like, oh, I have a 98% success rate on like curing these people from this disease. And this dude over here has a 37% because he does it the traditional way. If something's wrong with my dad or something, bro, I'm going the AI way all day, bro. Like,
yeah,
I'm going AI all day, bro. Like, I'm not even thinking about it. Like, and it's the same thing with planes, right? They say that most planes crash on takeoff and landing. And then the majority of the plane is flying with like the plane psycho-cybernetics, like the freaking computer is flying the plane. So like the majority of the mistakes happen when a human is actually landing it or taking off. So like if you just take off the human from that portion, you just like get them out of the equation, then it'll probably like be more successful, I'm guessing. And they can see, because what happens is they have these pre-flight checks, like before they like check, oh, this is working, check, you know, pilot's going through all of this stuff. But if a computer already sees like, oh, there's an error right here, like it can cross-check itself, then like, why need a human to do it if they're going to make a mistake? Just to look cute, I guess, up there.
Yeah, it's people like that. You know?
Yeah, they like people, I guess.
There's this thing in China where they'll hire a white guy to put on like a helmet or like a hard hat and a vest, and if they're opening up a new building, because they just like having, and he's just an actor, you know, and like he's just there to like make people feel comfortable. So maybe that's gonna be the future. Like it's gonna be like hire a human. He just doesn't know shit. You know, doesn't know shit about.
There, bro.
He just sits there and he's just like, yeah, you know, because I don't know how comfortable I feel just handing everything over to AI. I do like that human aspect.
Yeah.
Because if there's missing context, you know, and the AI doesn't understand certain things, like I don't know.
But I see it, dude. Because like I'll get a text message from someone, and like it's like a paragraph, bro. I'm not reading that shit. I mean, like, if it's a paragraph, I'll read it. But if it's like 6 paragraphs, bro, I'm putting that shit straight in Claude. I'm like, dude, that's right.
Yeah. How are you using Claude to handle your communication?
I've got the beeper app on, I've got the beeper app on my computers, and I've got WhatsApp and everything's connected to that, so then it can go through the beeper app and see my text messages and everything. So then
beeper app, it goes in and checks your text messages, and then
so then it knows like what's coming in, because a lot of people text me about work through text too, so it's just like, oh yeah, you got to do this thing, or oh yeah, you probably should respond to this person, or oh yeah, like this dude just said this about this project you have next week, I didn't know about that, should I like know about that, or how should we schedule it? Then I'm like, yo, just respond, and then it'll like go ahead and write it up. And I have it to like make sure it doesn't sound like AI, to where it takes off the dashes and shit, you know, like
I didn't know about that. I built out something to help me answer messages because I'm really bad at text messaging. So in the Life OS thing, I have a morning dossier, and it looks at like my email, all of my past meetings, and then my WhatsApp messages. And then it just gives me a table. Like it'll be like 1, Akil, 2, mom, 3, whatever, you know, whoever. And then it'll just say all the messages, and then I can just answer all of them at the same time. I just press a button. I'm like, 1, tell Akil I'm heading over at 1. 2, tell mom, you know, I love you. I'll see you soon. Tell 3, you know, oh, let's get lunch. And then just handle all that and send it off at the same time.
Bro, and you do that through WhatsApp straight? Like, how do you get it? Because WhatsApp
I just go through the terminal. So I just, or Claude Code, I just hit /OS, gives me my dossier, gives me the table, and then I just type in, like I just press in the chat, and then it'll send it all. Still a little bit buggy right now. I got to work it, but
that's powerful, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna help me with my relationships, because like I'm gonna lose friends if I just keep staying with Claude psychosis and not answering anybody. So.
No, it's sick, bro. Yo, Josh, we got any questions from the community?
Yeah. So basically, someone was talking about a story that with the whole medicine thing.
Yeah.
They said that AI was going to make radiologists an extinct practice.
Oh, wow.
But since AI has been released, there's record high numbers of people who are radiologists than there's ever been before in history.
Wow.
They're all more capable of doing the work.
Yeah.
You guys feel about how AI is making more jobs instead of everyone talking about how it's making less jobs?
Bro, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I think that this actually making more jobs because people are starting to move into roles of entertainment, truly. Like, I think that there's like more sub niches of how we can almost entertain each other. For example, like all these social media type of people that are on TikTok and like doing dances and also like, I mean, for me, I'm into events and things like that. So I feel like since humans aren't really going to be working a lot of these manual jobs, they got to do these super duper specific niche jobs now.
Yeah.
And like, for example, what was a dude from Oracle? They laid off 30,000 people. I don't know if you saw that. They laid off 30,000 employees in one email at 6 a.m. in the morning. Just like laid them all off, like freaking crazy.
Insane.
But like all those people have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna go into a whole bunch of like niche, almost like entrepreneurial roles online to where they're like doing something super duper specific in a tiny niche, you know?
Yeah, that's happening a
Hilarious.
lot more. It's
Yeah.
happening a lot more. But that is true. I think more powerful than just AI is like humans that know what they're doing. Because like I bet you a programmer, like I know how to use Claude Code,
Right.
but a programmer that knows how to program and use Claude Code is insane.
Insane.
You know?
Insane, bro. Because yeah, it's like so many people that are like, oh yeah, I do snapshots on Go High Level for a living. And I'm like, if you think about that, if somebody doesn't know what Go High Level is, they're like, what is that? Okay, it's a CRM. What is a CRM? And it's like, it's a tool that helps you organize all the customers in your business. And then it's like, okay, so they help customers, they help this CRM tool get copy websites from another website. It's like a super duper specific thing. You know, it's even hard to explain, but like that's a real job that people have. You know, it's a billion jobs like that too. It's super duper niche, you know?
Yeah, I think
bro.
things are going to get more and more niche, and because you can just, you can spin something up super quick to handle the most niche thing. What's the most like niche use case you've heard? Well, okay, the dog one is pretty good,
niche, bro. I mean, another one I heard was like people communicating with whales. They said that they can like, 'cause you know they have this certain noises and stuff that they make, and they can like break down the orca whales noises and everything. And I'm like, bro, that's pretty insane. To be able to communicate with them. So I don't know. I mean, that like the animals thing talking is pretty niche, you know. Like, dude, yeah, I think those are probably the craziest niches that I came across. Though.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, bro. But like, okay, another thing though, like, how do you balance your mental health and continuously build things? And you're a successful entrepreneur, you know, you're raised in Canada, right?
Like, born in Canada.
Yeah, born in Canada.
Toronto.
Yeah, raised in Canada, but you're living here in Cape Town. You travel everywhere. You like spend the summers in freaking the jungles of Europe and all of these things, right? But like, how do you stay focused knowing that there's like so much noise out there, and also I guess it's twofold. Like, stay focused and keep a great mental space with like so much challenges that comes with being an entrepreneur and like having your own thing.
Yeah, that's a good question, man. Something I've been working on lately is just like, it's gonna sound super cliche and cheesy, but like gratitude. You know, just like, look, I'm not gonna make the run perfectly. You know, like video game, you know, you make a perfect run. You know, I'm not gonna make the perfect run.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. But thank you for the opportunity. You know, thank you for the opportunity of life. Thank you for the opportunity for me to just go and put my hat in the ring and give it a try. You know? And so then I'm not so hard on myself if I'm like, okay, am I doing the best thing, like the perfect run? Did I hit everything? You know, because like it's not possible. So I'm just like, thank you for the opportunity. And so then I can stay grateful for what's going on. And then in terms of managing my mental health, I think, just realizing that not everything is business and money and AI, and there's like a whole nother realm of magic you can tap into. And yeah, man, like I went this weekend. I like saw the Milky Way and like look at the stars. And I'm like, this is beautiful. This is beautiful, you know. And so I was just like, I'm not putting all my eggs in the AI basket. Yeah, I think it's just not losing that, because if you lose that, and then AI becomes everything, or business becomes everything, technology becomes everything, then I don't know. It's a lot more stressful.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question, but
it does, bro. It does. So I think for me, like I've been reading a lot more, and I started reading this book called The Game. A buddy recommended it for me, and it's interesting because I've been thinking in the gap, meaning like I would think the gap between me here, where I'm at, and like where I want to be, and then I almost get like depressed. I'm always trying to reach for something.
Yeah.
And then the gain's more of like the gratitude, like you mentioned, of like I'm just super grateful to be where I'm at right now because I'm way more ahead than I was a year ago.
Yeah.
Like a year ago, I didn't throw a big AI event with hundreds of people. Like a year ago, I didn't, have the clients that I have now. So I think that it really helps me just stay in that gratitude moment and just appreciation to want to do more because I'm almost like, that's just like the gift that I'm giving to the world, but it's not like I'm striving to get something that I don't have. Then you're always like striving for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And it's like, feels like it's like running further away from you. You can't even be satisfied when you get the thing.
Yeah.
And going for something else,
Yeah, because like without gratitude, it's like a cup with a hole in it. You get more, no matter how much you fill that cup, it's never going to be full.
Yeah.
And, wanting to get that next thing, a lot of it is ego, I think, rather than like solving the immediate problem you have now and doing it because you're loving what you're doing and you see value in it. Okay, it's not fair to say it's all ego, but a lot of it can be, like when I was younger, I was like, I want to climb Mount Everest. I'm like, why?
Right.
Why? Okay, there's a whole bunch of other really beautiful, cool mountains I want to climb, but I shouldn't probably start off with Mount Everest. I should like just enjoy actually climbing mountains. You can enjoy, the thing of it, not the title of what you get at the end of it. And so I think just staying present with what you're doing and loving that process, loving the learning and all of that, and realizing it's all a game and you take nothing with you at the end of it. I think that's a cool thing. Like that's how I kind of balance that. I'm like, I'm not taking it's just a game.
It's just a game.
It's a game.
Jeez, that was deep, bro. Yeah, we got any more questions before we wrap up, bro?
We have one more question, and
slowly.
It's not out, so you guys can.
Cool, bro. Well, dog, that was amazing. I think that was a perfect way to end too, just like on a gratitude tip too.
Yeah.
Shouts out for you coming out, bro, and I'm excited to like see what you create next. And yeah, I think we're gonna probably throw more events together.
Yeah,
soon,
I would love that.
Because like I think that even when we were talking about getting the Avengers together, bro, and just throwing like a crazy
Cape Town Avengers,
bro, just look out for it. It's coming.
I mean, that's what needed.
It's needed.
Akil's like you're like the Genghis Khan Cape Town. You unite the tribes to go and take over.
Bro, I'm gonna get that. Like I'm gonna get the Genghis Khan and bring a picture somewhere.
Yeah, you should.
Like, dude, we're cousins or something. Dog. I'm telling you.
I got a bow, so you could get the bring the bow.
I need the bow, bro. I got the sword. I need the bow.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'd be sick. Thank you for having me on. It was
of course, G.
Really fun. It was a lot of fun.
Do you want to take that question?
Yeah. What was it?
Oh.
So Kiara wants to know, do you guys struggle with information overload, especially while focusing on speed?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How would you say you do?
There's just so many things that like, oh, this is happening on, Instagram or whatever. I think that's where like deciding what your core mission is and what your end outcome is first. So then you can decipher what's noise and what's signal. And then also I've been trying to build out use AI to go and digest this information for me and triage what's signal from noise. So this is something I forgot to touch on it. You can go and download entire YouTube channel transcripts, download Instagram videos, and then have drop it in a notebook LM.
Yeah.
Have all that information, and then you can use AI to like triage what's information and what's noise. And then it could be like, oh, this is useful for him in his particular situation, and this is not useful. and then just give you that information.
Bro,
So you
that's
can
so
digest that
smart.
information.
But do you do it by like having your notebook LM know what's going on in your like system, like your life OS, or do you have it like its own thing? Like
It's its own thing. Like I'll have like, so I'm still building this out, but like I've got a notebook for cold email. I've got another notebook, like it's actually like 900 of Alex Hormozzi's podcasts. That one's really sick. But yeah, just having it store that information. So, and I haven't fully built it out yet. I've got a couple YouTube channels I've built in Notebook LM.
And what about the Obsidian thing?
Yeah, I've been using Obsidian more for holding context in my life. So it'll be like, okay, he's dealing with this today. He's not feeling that good. He should be doing this. He said he would be doing this. And so I do use Obsidian a little bit. But
why not use it straight up in like Claude? Like, why not use it straight up in Claude instead of like going the Obsidian route for you?
I think it's because it's just Markdown files. It's super easy. And it can just index your ideas and everything a lot better and organize everything a lot better. And then also because it's kind of it's just Markdown files, you can switch your models. You know, like let's say tomorrow Claude goes to shit and you got to switch over to Codex or ChatGPT or something. It can still read those files.
And
I know you use Notion a lot, right?
Yeah, I've been using Notion a lot. Well, I went deep into, I started off in Obsidian. I was like building brains in Obsidian. Then I switched over to Notion later on. But now it's interesting because now I'm looking back at Obsidian like, oh, I can just connect my existing brain already that I'm using for Claude because it's just a folder with a whole bunch of Markdown files and put it inside of my Obsidian to where I can just like build this thing out. So is that how you're using it to where it like knows everything that's inside of your like Claude Life OS?
Yeah, exactly. So like everything I just, my plan is like, I'm just going to have a half-hour conversation with Claude every day and just dump everything in. Because one thing I saw online that's really cool with Obsidian is that you could just have a record and a history of everything you've talked about, clearly written out in these files. And then it, like at the end of the year, it'll analyze what your patterns are. You know, it'll tell you where you're weak, where, you know, gaps in your thinking are. You could just run an analysis. If I'm just using Claude to remember these things, it's kind of like up in space. There's no clear timestamps. Yeah. It's just like a mishmash of information. Whereas Obsidian, you get clear files and you can go through and read these files with your own eyes. But how have you been using Obsidian? Like, I feel like you're like the master of Obsidian. I'm just dabbling in.
Dude, I mean,
it started it off for you,
bro. Like, it started off for me, and I use Obsidian, like you mentioned. Like, I actually transcribed every single thing that came out of Alex Hormozzi's mouth, and I put it in Obsidian. Gary Vaynerchuk to also, it's a few videos that floating around that I like did for a few people. One big entrepreneur, I can't even think of his name right now. I got his face, Charlie Morgan, did his. We made a whole video about like how I made his brain and stuff. And I put all this stuff in there, and then I had it like I had some little commands to where like I could just like click T, like it was a command T or something, to where it pulled up the exact moment where he said a specific thing, if it was like dog or whatever. And that's how I was using it before. But lately, I've been so deep into Claude that I haven't been able to use anything else. But now I know, like you mentioned, that it's just so smart to have like everything organized in one place. And it should be so easy because all you have to do is make a file inside of your like command center Life OS. And then from there, it can just feed all the data to Obsidian in Markdown, or you can start with Obsidian and it just stores everything there. So, bro, that's
Obsidian's
my mission
really
today,
good,
bro. That's my mission today.
One thing I do like about Notebook LM is that it has these cool new abilities. You guys should all test it out. It can make a podcast from all the information that you feed into it, and there'll be two, and you can even join in the podcast and you can talk with them. And so that's actually another really cool thing to learn information. Sometimes I watch these videos that are way too technical. I feed into Notebook LM, it makes a podcast, and then I talk with the podcast hosts about that concept, and it's like way easier to digest.
Bro, it's insane. And I heard people have like a whole podcast with Notebook LM now. Like, and it's like public for people to listen to and stuff.
Oh, like they talk with Notebook LM?
Yeah.
No way.
It's like a public podcast.
Oh, wow.
Public AI podcast. You know?
That's really cool.
Dude.
The voices sound really good too.
Yeah.